Yo, how's it going, guys? Hope you are doing well today, and I got another tier list for you guys. As you can see, this time around we are doing a Wersal tier list, actually. Now, I'm gonna go over every single character Wersal, like all these ones right here. And the actual Wersals, I'm only gonna go over the orange versions, and here's why. The purple versions of the Wersals are still super good, but at some point in the future, all of your team will have an orange Wersal. Because right now, you might be using a purple one, but later on, like a couple months from now, or maybe even a month or two from now, everybody should have, orange war souls to use on your team, even as a free to play, because your daily free singles sometimes give you orange war souls, maybe another game mode, or every time you do a gacha summons. Over time you'll get orange war souls. It's honestly not super hard to get them. It's just you honestly randomly get them over time by summoning or whatever. So don't worry too much that I'm not doing purple war souls, because at some point in the future, you will most likely have all of the orange war souls. Well, not all of them, but most of your team, if not all of your team, will be running orange war souls, and that's why I'm only doing orange. Also, another thing, as I've said in all my tier list videos before, this is my personal opinion. Any video I've made in the past or in the future about a tier list, it is my personal opinion. So please, if you have a different opinion, it is totally fine. You don't have to stick around with my opinion. And one last thing before I get started, two things actually. As you guys see, some of them have stars here. It's just because I took screenshots of my own account, and they have the stars on them, so I couldn't really do anything. And also, I'm pretty sure I got all of them memorized, but if I forget one in the middle of the video, I'm just gonna check on it super quick in the game, because honestly, it's not easy to memorize all of them. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. And the first one we got on the list here is Aizen. Now this one easily gets an S rank. Now this one is not easy to get, obviously. It is actually super hard to get, because it costs Aizen shards, and if you don't spend money and you're free to play, it's pretty hard to get Aizen shards. And even if you have enough, you're probably saving up for the actual character. That's why you're probably not going to be able to get this Wersal anytime soon. Even with it being so limited, it's still an insanely good Wersal, because it gives a good attack boost, it gives a really HP boost, but where it really shines is every time you use your rage skill, it drains attack and defense from the enemy. So if you use it on somebody like that has an AoE like Ichigo, Yamamoto, Matsumoto, they're gonna be draining not HP attack and defense from the whole entire enemy team. That's why the Aizen Wersal is super OP. But like I said, even the Wersal being kind of behind the paywall, it's still worth an S rank, because the drain attack and defense is just super good. The other Wersal we got right here is Wersal of the Courage. This is also another SC Wersal. Reason being is Black Tortoise is very OP Soul Haul. It is a little expensive to make, but if you are able to make it and you run this Wersal on your characters, if you're running a full Black Tortoise team with these Wersals right here, they can have close to 100% block chance, which is seriously OP. And this Wersal gives defense, block chance, and block strength boost. So that's why this Wersal is super OP, because Black Tortoise is OP. And this Wersal just makes them even better by so much. And then the other Wersal we got right here is going to be Ichigo. This is another S rank Wersal, and here's why. It gives a really nice attack boost actually, and it boosts your whole entire team's rage attack, I believe. Let me just double check. Yeah, it boosts all of your team's rage skill damage for 2 rounds, and it gives them a little attack boost as well. So if you're using this on any team, honestly, that's not a Black Tortoise, this Wersal will do you freaking amazing. Now keep in mind, guys, honestly, I'd say 90% of the Wersals are actually good. So even Wersals that are going to be in C and B rank, they're probably still good. They're just going to be lower because there's better choices. But just because a Wersal is in C tier, it doesn't mean it's bad. It's just like I said, there's better choices. Because honestly, most of the Wersals available in game right now are honestly, most of them are pretty good. Some of them are situational, but overall, I think most of them are good. There's only a couple that are like actually bad. But yeah, anyways, let's keep going. Now, the next Wersal we got right here is going to be Toshira's Wersal. And I'm going to put this one in B rank. Here's why. Now, This one I believe as of right now is actually broken. As far as I know, it's not working. I could be wrong, but from what most people told me, it's broken. I don't use it myself, so I don't know. But what this basically does, it gives you an HP boost, and when the battle begins, your allies have a chance, a 50% chance, which is pretty high actually, to trigger an extra mastery skill. Now, I don't know what this actually means. I don't think it's worded the best, but here's what it probably means is if you get a mastery skill, as soon as the battle starts, you have a 50% chance to get another mastery skill next round. Now, I don't know if that's what it means. Like I said, I could be wrong, but this is just worded really weird. It's one of these things in the game where it's not explained super well. Now, that sounds like a pretty good ability, and it really is, but at the same time, I feel like in a PvP team, you won't really benefit from it that much. I feel like it's mostly good in PvE. It's really good in PvE actually because it will help you deal a lot more damage. But I feel like this isn't really the best in PvP because there's better choices. And on top of that, most of the time the PvP battles are usually, over by round 2 or 3, if not, even round 1 if you're going up against a whale. So that's why I give this one only a B tier. Now right here we got Wersal of the Saint. This is another really interesting one. It gives an HP boost, attack and defense I believe, and it gives a healing rate boost. This is specifically for healing characters. You could run it on somebody like Shinsui since he heals himself, but I still wouldn't recommend it. This is good for like Unohana or maybe Orihime I guess, but overall, not many people run these characters anyways. And it's healing isn't really a big part of the game as of right now, so that's why I probably wouldn't use it. Now we got Byakuya's Wersal, and I give it a C tier. Now this is one of the Wersals, like I said, it's good, but the reason I'm giving it a C tier is because there's better options. This Wersal gives you a attack boost, a damage percentage boost, and a bleed damage boost, which is honestly super good. But you could easily run like Ichigo's or Zangetsu's Wersal, and they will do the job much, much better. Now we got Orihime's. This is one of the ones that I believe are honestly bad. It is super, super like restricted, I guess. So it does give an attack boost that's super, super low. And here, let me just read it. So increases ally attack by 1.5%. The mastery skill of skill specialty character and defense. Hold up. The mastery skill of skill specialty and defense specialty allies have a 10% chance to silence and deal 50% more damage, and it only lasts for one round. That's why this is like just super restricted because it's really only good on skill and defense specialty characters, and it's only a 10% chance to actually silence. So the chances are low. It doesn't give a good attack boost. That's why I'd probably stay away from this one because it's honestly not super good. Now we got Orihime. This is our first A tier Wersal. This Wersal is absolutely, absolutely amazing. It does miracles, honestly, especially in PvE. In my opinion, it's good both in PvP and PvE, but where it shines the most is going to be PvE. This is one of the Wersals that you can run in squad bots, and it can keep, your whole squad alive, honestly. Basically, it gives an HP boost to whoever it's equipped to, and every time 3 of your allies attack, it heals one of the allies with the lowest HP. So you see where I'm going. This can help your team stay alive because it's healing 2 people every single round you're attacking as long as you have all of your 6 characters. And if you have less than 6 characters, it can still heal 1% every round. So this Wersal is super, super good. Now we got Wersal of the Raz here. This, in my opinion, is actually the best Wersal in the whole entire game. And here's why. It gives a very, very big attack boost. It gives a crit chance boost, and the crit chance, is very, very powerful. And it gives a damage rate boost. Now, this is really important because even if you do not critical hit with your attack, the fact you're getting a damage rate boost, it will still deal more damage. Like, say, you're running Yamamoto and he doesn't crit on the characters, he's still going to do more damage because it's boosting his overall damage rate. Unlike Wersal of the Crit right here. Like this Wersal of the Crit right here, it gives an attack boost, a critical chance boost, and a crit strength boost. It doesn't give a damage strength boost, a damage rate one, unlike the Raz. And that's why this is probably the best Wersal in the whole entire game. Now we got Ganju's Wersal right here. This is, in my opinion, this is a really hard one. I think I'm gonna still give it a B rank because it is a little situational. It gives a really nice HP boost, and basically after whoever it's equipped to dies, the enemy team loses a certain amount of attack, depending on the level's Wersal. Now that's honestly really, really good, but like I said, it's situational because the person who it is equipped to has to die. But after they do die, you are lowering the whole entire team's attack. So this is honestly pretty good for extreme challenges, even PvP. I really like this Wersal right here. Now we got Zangetsu. This is straight into S rank. Amazing, amazing, absolutely OP Wersal. It gives a really big attack boost, and when the battle begins, it increases the whole damage rate of your characters for 2 rounds, and the attack rate as well. And then after you level it up quite a bit, it actually lasts for 3 rounds, but at the lower levels, it's only 2 rounds. But the fact that it gives like damage rate to your whole team is so amazing. Unlike Ichigo's only gives rage damage. This one gives the whole damage rate, so every single attack is boosted. That's why it gets an S rank. Now Ichigo, you guys might be thinking it should be A rank since it's pretty much the same as Zangetsu, and it's a little more less OP because it only does rage damage. It's still easily an S rank just because there is no other Wersals that can boost your damage as high as, Ichigo and Zangetsu. Even though Ichigo is a little worse than Zangetsu, it doesn't matter because it's still seriously OP. That's why, both of them get an S rank easily. Now, Chad, okay, I'm gonna have to go over this. Just give me one super quick second, please. Okay, so I'm gonna just read it out for you guys. Increase the Soul Barrier's HP by 7,800. Rage skill has a 6% chance to stun the target and deal 150 extra damage, and it lasts for 1 round. Now, I'm reading the ability of it being level 1. So, as it gets a higher level, you're going to have a higher chance to stun and deal some more damage. Keep in mind, it only does 150 more damage. That is literally nothing at all. So, I think I'm going to give this one a D tier because even if you level it up to get a 20% chance to stun, you can use other Wersals or other characters that already have that much stunning chances. So that's why I give this one a D tier because the only way to make it good is to invest a lot in it, and I really wouldn't recommend it. Now we got Wersal of Vigilance. I'm gonna put this one in C tier. Now this one is super, super weird. It is good, but you have to build a super specific team with maybe like Tesai in it to actually make it work. I would never recommend it to use it on a normal team unless you know what you're doing. This is like a really advanced Wersal for maybe advanced players to work with, but overall it is extremely situational. And for an orange Wersal to be in C tier is just, it's weird because it's, you'd expect it to be higher, but it's just, not not very good. It is super situational, and you can make it good. It just takes a lot of time and effort, and I probably wouldn't recommend it because it's only good with like super specific teams. And now we got Wersal of the Shattering right here. Think. Oh, this is hard, man. It's either between A or B because it is. I think I'm gonna give it an A tier. Reason being is it does drop from squad boss, so you do have, you know, a way to get it without summoning, even though the chances are probably super low. You do have a way of getting it other than summoning, and it's honestly a super good Wersal. It increases the effect accuracy and strength, and it gives a little attack and defense boost to your character. This on Matsumoto Mayuri, it does miracle jobs, man. That's pretty much it about this Wersal. You just put it on somebody who has like paralyzes, silences to to stop the enemy team from attacking you. And now we got Cohen's Wersal right here. I'm gonna actually give this one an A tier. Now this is probably surprising a lot of you guys, but this goes right back to Black Tortoise. I think Black Tortoise is really overpowered, and keep in mind, this Cohen Wersal is a total Wersal. So basically, if it's not on your team, it will still help all of your team. If you equip it on Cohen himself, your 6 characters on your team will still get the the boost that it gives. And this Wersal right here gives a block chance boost, which is super OP for like a Black Tortoise team. But what makes it an A tier is that it doesn't have to be on your team for it to take effect. You just put it on literally any character and it can take effect. I would personally recommend our characters because it only costs 3 awakened essences to unlock their third Wersal slot. And that's pretty much it for this one right here. Now, Wersal of the Fury, I'm gonna give it an A rank. It is, don't get me wrong, it is extremely powerful. It gives a big attack boost and it gives a rage damage boost. But the reason I only put it in A tier and not S is because crit, Wersal of crit and Wrath can probably have a really similar job and can probably do it better than Wersal of the Fury. But it is still a super good Wersal. If you have it, definitely use it. Now, Rukia right here, I actually give it a C rank even if it's a total Wersal. What Rukia does, it increases your crit resistance chance by a little amount. Now, this point of the game, this is not helping at all. Like, it really doesn't do anything at this point of the game. Maybe late game, if the meta changes or anything, it might be viable. But at the moment, even as a total Wersal, it's not very good because crit chance isn't really that big of a deal. Now this is the third and final total Wersal, and it's gonna be Soifons right here. Now this is a really interesting one. Let me actually pull it up on the, hold up. Let me see if, okay, this is Soifons Wersal right here. Increases ally attack by 2.6% plus 195 of the soul barrier's attack, and this is a total Wersal, so it doesn't have to be on your team, and it will increase your team's attack. Even though it's a small number, it's still increasing attack percentages, and attack percentages, you know, any increase is super nice. And since this one is giving an increase to all of your team, it easily gets an S tier because it doesn't have to be on your team. That's what makes it, you know, super great. And you know, that's why I give it an S tier. Like I said, you can put it on an R character or even a UR character because the higher the attack the character has, the bigger the boost it will actually give. So that's why it easily gets an S tier. Now, believe it or not, I'm gonna give this one a D tier. It's an orange Wersal that's in D tier. Now, this one, it's not bad, but the percentages on it are quite bad. Basically, what this one does, I believe, let me just double check to be 100% correct on it. 1 second, please. I'm just pulling it up. Where is it? Where is it? Right here. Okay, so it increases the soul barrier's attack, and upon dealing damage, there's a 15% chance to make the target receive 15% or more damage for 2 rounds. Now, that doesn't sound too bad, but the chance for it to actually activate is only 15%, and at max level, it is 50%. 50% is a big chance, but that's at max level. You're going to have to invest so much in it to make it good, and you're still not guaranteed damage. It's still only a 50% chance even at max level. So that's why you can easily run, you know, like crit, fury, wrath, and you're guaranteed damage. Because this one at low levels is a super low chance, and even at high levels, even though it's a good chance, it's still not guaranteed extra damage. So that's why this one gets a D tier, because I really don't think anybody should use it if you guys have any of the other ones, you know, like Wrath, Fury, Crimson, because literally every single other damage Wersal is probably a better choice than this one, because this one is not guaranteed damage, it's just a chance. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, Wersal of Vigilance, I'm gonna put it in B tier. It's a pretty alright Wersal. It gives a damage reduction rate and a big HP boost. It's just decent for, like, you know, characters who are tanking, but if you're using a tank team, you should probably be using armor. Where is it? Armor or courage, if you know, unless you just don't have them and you use vigilance. Vigilance is a really good Wersal, but like I said, there's just better choices like armor and courage. Wersal of the crit, we've already talked about it a little, but this is another S tier. It gives an attack boost, a crit chance boost, and a crit strength boost. This is basically literally like Wrath, except this one has a little bit of a higher crit chance percentage, and instead of boosting your damage rate like Wrath, it boosts your crit strength. So if you don't crit, you're not getting the full benefits from it. Where Wrath, if you do crit, if you don't crit, you're still getting benefits from it because it's boosting your overall damage rate. Now, you might be thinking, why not A tier since Wrath is basically a better version? It doesn't matter because this one is it's still so good. And it does, don't forget, it does give a higher crit chance than Wrath right here. So even it, being not as good as Wrath, it's still super good because it can deal heavy damage if you do crit. And even if you don't crit, um, you know, it's only if you don't crit, you're literally losing half of the benefits from it. But if you do crit later on, you're gonna gain a lot of damage to make up for the times you didn't crit. So this one still gets an easy S rank. Now Jinta, this is okay. Now I'd put this in S rank, but not everybody uses Black Tortoise. If Black Tortoise was more common, I'd give it easily an S rank. But basically what it does, it gives an HP boost, and if you're over 40% HP, it gives a really big block chance increase, which is super good for Black Tortoise. Pretty self. I don't really need to explain it. It just gives a really big block chance, which is super good for Black Tortoise. And I'd put it in S rank if Black Tortoise was a lot more common. Joshua Wersal, another A rank, super good. It gives a really big HP boost, and it heals the person that it's only equipped to. Unlike Orihime, Orihime heals, two characters from your team, but this one only heals the person that it's equipped to. But that doesn't matter because it does give many other great benefits. It does give you a 50 rage bonus every time you attack, and it also increases your damage rate by a certain percentage, depending on what level it is. So this one is still super good. More Soul of Armor gets an A rank. It is super good. Courage is basically a little bit of a better version, but War Soul of Armor is still super good. Oh my gosh, sorry. So basically, here is the difference between these two. This one gives defense, block chance, and block strengths. This one gives defense, block chance, and damage reduction. So if you don't have like a full block chance build, I'd recommend running this one instead because it gives a damage reduction build. But overall, it's good for any tanking character. I'd recommend you use it. Now hold up, let me pull up this one. I'm sorry, but I do remember reading this one and I was not impressed at all. Okay, here it is. Increase the soul barrier's HP by 7,800. Oh yeah, this one is super bad. And the soul barrier's first rage skill grants him or herself 80 attack and 500 shield. Oh my god, this is actually probably the worst Wersal in the whole entire game. It gives you an 80 attack boost, freaking 80 attack. That's literally like the lowest I've ever seen. And a 500 shield. I don't think I need to explain anything. This one is straight doo-doo, bro. Like, it is literally doo-doo. It is not usable at all. Then we got Wersal of the Eye. Um, okay, this is honestly really good. But once again, this is one of the Wersals where it's not guaranteed damage. It gives an attack boost, and it has a chance to ignore the enemy defense. Even though the chances are really high, the chances can get, I think, as high as like 60 or 70% if it's fully maxed out. But like I said, it's still not guaranteed damage, and that's why I put it in B tier, because there's Wersals that give you guaranteed damage, while this one does not give you the full guaranteed damage. And Omaida's is, this one is really good for PvE content, because every time you drop below 45% HP, you start dealing more damage. So for PvP, it's kind of situational. You will rarely actually be able to use it in PvP. But in PvE, it is super good. It does, help you deal a lot more damage. Now this one is also a D tier. This one gives an HP boost, and it has a really low chance to ignore defense. It's really bad. The chances are super low to ignore the defense. I would not recommend for anyone to use it. More Soul of the Crimson gets an A tier. I honestly could even be possibly argued to go in S tier, but I think I'm gonna just keep it at A tier, in my opinion, because this is the only Wersal at the moment that kind of provides. I mean, this one does. There's Uryu and Byakuya do provide bleed damage, but this is like the really big damage one. It gives a really big attack boost, and it gives a really big bleed damage boost. The only reason I wouldn't give it an S tier is because it's kind of limited to bleed characters. You probably should not run it unless it's a bleed character, and that's why it only gets an A tier. But overall, it is super good on bleed characters. Now this one, I give it a C tier. It's funny because these two, like, if you're making a reflect damage build, these two kind of go together. The test Science of Vigilance. But this is, like I said, a super situational one. When you drop below a certain amount of HP, you start dealing more reflect damage. It's super situational. I would not recommend it unless you know what you're doing. It's honestly a good Wersal overall. And then Hanachura, let me check on that one real quick. Okay, increase the soul barrier's HP by 7800 plus 6%, and the soul barrier's rage skill has a 25% chance to reduce enemy rage by 150. Ooh, honestly, um, I can see this one being a B tier. It's kind of between C and B, but I think it can be a tier because it has a 25% chance to reduce rage, and that's it only being at the first level. So as you level it up even more, you're gonna get an even higher chance. So this one can stop the enemies from rage attacking. It's really helpful for maybe extreme challenge and maybe even PvP. So this one's not bad at all. And then last but not least, we got Oryu, which I think I'm gonna give an A tier right here. This one is a super good bleed damage Wersal. Basically increases the attack and mastery skill damage, and it gives a really big mastery skill damage actually. Mastery skill damage boost actually, and it adds a 20% chance to inflict bleed, so you can even run it on characters that are not bleed damage. At the first level, at 3-star silver, it gives a 25% mastery skill damage, which is quite big. And it gives a normal attack boost that's pretty big actually too. And it has a 20% chance to, inflict bleed. So if you put it on somebody that already has a chance to inflict bleed, it will increase it. Or if they do not inflict bleed, they'll have a chance to inflict bleed. So overall, this one is super good. And now there is one last Wersal. I did not put on the list. Well, two Wersals actually. I'm gonna go ahead and show them on screen. And here's the first one, Wersal of Surah. The reason I don't put these is because these are 100% locked behind a paywall. Because like if you look at oh my gosh, if you look at Aizen, it is kind of locked behind a paywall, but you can still obtain it as a free to play. But these two Wersals I'm about to show are not obtainable as a free to play, no matter how long you play for, unless they change it in the future. But this is Wersal of Asura. This easily gets an S rank. I do have it at max rank actually. Increases the soul barrier's defense by 12%, damage reduction rate by 15%, and initial rage by 200. And the first rage skill regenerates 300 rage. Super good Wersal, and it actually allows you to rage with any character in extreme challenges. So super good Wersal. And this Wersal is amazing, super amazing. But like I said, I don't put it because this is a VIP 15 Wersal. Everybody knows how expensive VIP 15 is. But if you do have it, it's easily an S rank. If there's anything above S rank, then it gets, the rank above S rank. But this is a total Wersal, like Soifon, like Soifon, Rukia, and Cohen, where basically it does not have to be on your team, and it increases your team's attack by 600, crit chance by almost 5%, and crit resist chance by almost 5%. Now, it may not seem super impressive, but it doesn't have to be on your team, and it's increasing your attack and crit chance. And like I said, crit chance is super powerful. And there is one last Wersal. I could not find a picture of it at all, so that's why I couldn't really put it anywhere in the video. But if you guys remember, a while back we got like this $100 pack where you can get a total Wersal, and at max level it gives your whole team an HP of 10,000, like an extra 10,000 HP, and it doesn't have to be on your team. And it was $100. That one easily gets a D rank because, yeah, sure, it's a total Wersal, but you're paying $100 to get a 10,000 HP boost to your whole entire team. 10,000 is absolutely horrible. Some characters can easily deal over like 100k or, a quarter million with their rage attacks. So 10k HP is literally horrendous. That's why it gets a D tier and it's $100. But anyways, oh my gosh, I think how long is this video? Yeah, 29 minutes. Oh my god. But yeah, I'm sorry guys, this video is super long. If you did manage to stick around, thank you very much for sticking around. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any future uploads. And, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Goodbye.